Hi folks, thanks for tuning in and welcome back again. What you're looking at there is my Eberlestock V69 Destroyer. It is a conventional pack design, and over here on the side I have a Ruger 1022 takedown rifle, and that's for demonstration purposes. And you've probably seen me wearing this pack before on other outings, but I really have not had a chance to break it down and share it with you all. So here it is. And I'll also say that although this is a conventional pack, it is capable of carrying a long gun if I insert the butt of the gun into one of the side pockets and secure it with the retention straps. Now as far as uses, I mainly use this pack for fishing and camping, but I'm sure there's other applications out there. I will say that this pack is not for everyone. I understand there's other choices out on the market, but this pack is very comfortable and it is capable of carrying heavy loads. Now I'll also say that Eberlestock makes a larger version. That one is called the V90 Battleship, and basically the two packs are identical. The only difference is scale. The V90 Battleship offers more carrying capacity than the V69. Now a couple of things. This pack did not come with this little pouch here. This is called a multi-pack pouch, and that's an optional item that I purchased. And I also added these straps down here, these 36-inch straps that allow me to carry an object underneath here, perhaps a tent or a sleeping pad or another larger object, something that gives me a little more room. So I opted to go with the 36-inch straps. And it also did not come with the water bladders that are inserted in these side sleeves. This water bladder here is a 2-liter, and over here in the other sleeve I have a 3-liter bladder, and there's a couple other little attachments on the waist belt that are optional. It didn't come with the pack. Now it does come with a concealable rain cover that's underneath. It is in a little zippered area, and that cover can actually be used to cover the pack if you experience some wind-driven rain, to keep the contents inside dry. So what I'm going to do in this review is I'm going to cover some quick specs, and then I'm going to share the features. We'll break down the pack. I'll put it all back together again. We'll close out, and I'm also going to post some information in the description section. So let's cover a couple of specs. The material that you're looking at there is a 420 ripstop nylon. It is water resistant, meaning it will repel some of the rain. Perhaps if you're caught in some light rain, you don't need to use the cover. For wind-driven rain or a downpour, you obviously need the rain cover. Now this pack is advertised as being 60 liters, and that translates over to about 3,660 cubic inches. Now the pack is also expandable, and I'll show you that later. It has a collar in here, a high-rise collar that's expandable upwards to give you a little bit more room. The weight of the pack, 8 pounds empty, and that translates over to 3.6 kilograms. The color that you're looking at is a dry earth. It's a very nice color, and it also comes in green. It comes in Coyote brown, it comes in Unicam, and a couple other camouflage colors. So give me a second to get set up here. I'm going to spin the camera around. We'll break down this pack and we'll start looking at some of the features. Stand by, please. Okay, let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the outside of the pack first, and then I'll talk about the back, the straps, and then we'll get inside the bag, and I'll let you get a better look at that so you see what it looks like inside. Now this is the pouch. This is optional. I think it's necessary for me, but some of you might disagree, and perhaps you want to keep this area clear. Now what's behind this pouch is MOLLE webbing, just like this. Obviously it's being used up by this multi-purpose pouch that I have here. Now this pouch is big enough to hold a pair of 10x42 binoculars. I have a pair in there just for demonstration purposes so you can see that they do fit. And if you could see, it has some slots in the back with elastic, and I can keep toilet paper in there, a fire kit, and it has this small zippered area where I can keep some tags or documents, perhaps some paperwork or things like that. A couple additional slots. There's one and there's another one for additional items. Now this is a little bit padded, so it is going to give you some protection if you have some delicate items in there. So that's what this pouch looks like. It does have a small opening in the front here, and you can put some paperwork in there or other items, so you can see right there. And then it has small pouches on the sides, and I find that these are ideal for batteries, small flashlight, even a fire kit or items like that. So you get two of those, and that just rides in there, and it's a very nice little accessory to give you some more carrying capacity to fit the pack. Now, has webbing here, has webbing underneath, and it has some more up here on top. I have a bunch of junk on there. I like to hang my hat and shirts and a couple other things if I get wet up here. So it does have webbing. Now, this is not removable, this fanny-like pack. This lid is not. Some of their other packs it is, and it's nice because you're able to remove this, put some essentials in there and wear it on the small of your back, or perhaps like a messenger bag going across your chest. But in this case it is not. I previously indicated it had a rain cover, and it is secreted in here in the zippered area right in there. I'm not going to take it all the way out, but that's what it looks like. And it's a little bit darker than the pack. It's closer to Coyote color, and if you got caught in a downpour, you basically remove it, drape it over the pack, and it would give you protection and keep the internal contents from getting wet. Now, I previously indicated I had 36-inch straps on here. These are it right here, and they allow me to weave a large object in here like a tent or a sleeping pad, and it does come with these right here, or excuse me, it does come with these two here, but they're a little bit on the short side, so I opted to go with the additional 36-inch straps, and they're not expensive. It's a nice little feature to carry additional items, specifically like a tent or a sleeping pad. So getting back to the front of the pack, it has straps here. I'm going to undo these two. It has strap under here. I'm going to undo that clip there because we're going to be getting into the bag shortly. And I'm going to undo this one here for the lid, the other side of the lid, and another strap here. This is a well thought out bag. It's very secure. It has a lot of attachment points. It allows for the load to be carried tightly secured and compressed against you. And it also has a strap here for additional retention and securing the load, and it has one down here as well. Now it has side pockets. I'll give you a nice shot of that. There you go. That's a 40-ouncer right there. 40-ounce clean canteen. Fits in there with no problem. Obviously a 32 is going to fit, and there's room. And there's an adjustment point here to cinch it up to ensure it doesn't fall out. You get two of those. Here's another one on this side. And you also get two mesh pockets. You have one here, and you can put a hat in there, gloves, rain gear, or wet clothes. And with this mesh, it allows the clothes to dry out, and you get two of those. You have one on this side. There we go. And there's also straps on here to get rid of the excess. As you can see, they offer a lot of organization. So instead of having all those straps hanging, you can curl the excess around here, and it has little Velcro attachment points, so you don't have all this junk dangling when you're walking through the woods. So that's another nice little feature. Again, very well thought out pack. 3 grab handles, very similar to the Gunslinger. Another one here on top, and of course another one on the other side. So you have 3 areas to grab from. Let me spin it around. It has 2 large pockets on the outside here for bladders, This is a 2-liter bladder, and it fits in here nicely, but as you can see, some of it sticks out, and I want to point that out because that's as far as it goes in there. And I'll spin you around this side, and you have another sleeve on the other side. This is a 3-liter, and this one sticks out as well. So if this bothers you, I want to point it out. It's not a big deal to me, but that's as far as it's going to go. Now, in the back here, it has these ports, 1, 2, and 3. Now, I believe these were designed for military purposes. If you wanted to weave antennas through there, you can also carry your hydration inside and run your hoses through here, so they're multi-purpose. This is the back of the pack, or what would be on your back. This is the ladder system. Again, it's very similar to the Eberlestock Gunslinger. It has a ladder system for adjustment points where you can walk it up or down by simply undoing it. And you can ride it up this way, and obviously you can ride it down and find that sweet spot to get that nice fit. Sternum strap, keep it nice and stable. And these shoulder straps aren't really padded very well, but they're wide enough to give you adequate comfort. And I think they did that to reduce a little bit of the weight. D-rings up here for hanging things, more organization. I do have a light on here. I actually have a safety light on here and a small light for perhaps reading a map or something right there at my disposal. And you can run your hoses through here. As you can see, there's an area to keep them organized and another area to run another hose. I have a Dominator clip here at the very bottom. There we go. And that's just for some additional organization. Now, it does have an internal frame system. Let me just give you a shot of those aluminum stays. They're right there. They are removable. You can pull them out, adjust them to the small of your back and get that custom fit. And there's another one right over here. It is airy. It will breathe. On a hot summer day, you're still going to sweat with this pack like with most other packs. The kidney belt is very well padded. In this area there is a lot of padding. So for the small of the back, very thick here on the waist belt, nice and soft, and this is very comfortable where most of the weight's going to be around the hip area with your drivers. You want it above, obviously above your butt muscle. You don't want it interfering with your walking, because those are going to be your big drivers. Here's the lid. It does have a zipper back here, and you can get a rain poncho in here, some clothing items, things like that. It does have one in the front here, or excuse me, underneath. And let me give you a better shot. There we go. And it's pretty big. You can put some more things in here that you need to access quickly, or things you don't want to lose. I wish this was removable. As you can see, it's attached. On some of their other lines it is removable, and I think that's a better feature. And here's the waist belt. Make sure I don't miss anything. There you go. And those are the attachment points. I just have, I think that's a multi-tool I have here. On the other side I have a flashlight. But there's plenty of room, as you can see. Plenty of room. You could put some additional items, a fire kit. I just have a flashlight there, full-size flashlight. Now, it does have loops in the back. Forgot to mention these. Get one on each side for an axe or something else perhaps you want to hang from here. There you go. Nice shot of that. And this pack can be loaded, can be accessed from the bottom through here in this compartment. It can be accessed right here in the front, and it can be accessed from the top by undoing the collar here. And I also have a light on this one. It's just another nano light for looking into the bag. They don't weigh a lot and they come in real handy. And I previously indicated it had a collar on here where it was expandable, and look how much more room you get. So you can actually add, probably I would say this is in that 4-liter to 6-liter range of extra room if you needed it to expand the bag. And you would simply lengthen the straps and then put your lid on, and your lid would just sit up here. Now, just a little caution, when you load this, you have to be careful not to put anything heavy, because obviously if you put heavy things in here, it's not properly loaded. You go to tie your shoes, you're definitely going to feel that top heaviness, that weight up on top. So let me get this out of here. This is just a bag that I have in there to make it puffy. And then we're going to get inside the bag, and I'll show you inside. It does have some additional pouches inside. It has a shelf system, so the bag is partitioned in case you want to split your load. Perhaps you have some meat in there or other things and you don't want them touching. And here's the bottom, and it's big enough for a sleeping bag. That's what I keep in the bottom there. I keep my sleeping bag, and it fits okay. Now, I will tell you that when you have a bag in here, and most of you already know this, it will push out, that internal room will push out, and it renders, sometimes it renders these pockets useless, because the internal space will consume the external space on the outside of the pocket. It's just something to keep in mind, and it'll be really hard to get this bottle in and out. Here's the shelf system. Has a draw cord. It's right there. You can open it up and just make this one large compartment, or you can separate the load. Now, this small section down here is about 1/3, and then from here up is about 2/3. So that's a good description of how the bag or the space is broken down. Now, this one, as you can see, it doesn't have webbing on the inside lid like the Gunslinger, so it doesn't have that, but it does have 4 pockets inside. You get one on this side, you get one on the opposite side. Let me give you a better shot. There we go. You can see that. And then it has 2 pockets in the back, and this one's rather large. I mean, this is good for clothing or other items. And then in the front of that, it has a small one. This one's more shallow, and it has retention clips. And these are really designed for military applications, perhaps putting a radio in here and routing the antennas out of the top. But I find this area here is ideal for freeze-dried food and keeping either clothing or food items in there. So that's a nice little option. And then it has strap here, and it also has a clip up here where you can close that off to ensure that doesn't mix with the other load if you're moving around, and it keeps the load tight. So I wanted to share this pack with you. It's a very nice conventional pack. It's very heavy duty. Let me get the pack back together and we will close out, and I'll be back in a second. Okay folks, I have the pack reassembled, and I wanted to touch on a few issues real quick before we close out. The first is, at 8 pounds, I think some folks might find this pack a bit heavy for its size. I think the issue there is a battle between durability and weight savings, and only you can decide what's more important to you. This is really about personal preference. Also, this pack can be a bit top heavy if it is not loaded properly when using the expanded collar. I generally like to put light stuff here on the bottom, heavy items in the middle close to my core, and light items on top, and that seems to work fine for me. Lastly, as I showed you in the video, the water bladders do tend to stick out a little bit from the outer sleeves. But in summary, I'll say that the V69 Destroyer is another robust pack from Eberlestock. It can be used for a variety of outdoor activities. I like to use mine for camping and fishing. I would say that this pack offers moderate carrying capacity. It can be expanded further with the collar, and it will also accept pouches and accessories to the outside of the pack, giving you some additional carrying capacity there. But for me, this pack is nicely pointed. I think it's ideal for 3-day excursions, depending on my loadout and the level of comfort, of course. Anyway, I hope you find the right pack for you. Thanks for tuning in, and see you all next time.